This man has a $1 billion operation. One thing could crash everything, could bring the whole thing down. And one thing about Vince was prompt. Okay, he needed you on time, and he wanted the stuff done, and he wanted it done right. So some talent you have, men and women, some of them like to be pampered.
Let's see, there was something else I wanted to mention too. Mercedes Mone had made a comment about Vince, and she said a lot of personal stuff happened with herself and the chairman at the time. She said, I didn't like the way he talked to me and how I was talked down to. I was like, when's the time to legit listen to your soul and feel your heart? There was a light that came on one day and I just left WWE. Did Vince have a way of rubbing people wrong?
Well, I wouldn't say he would rub people wrong. Vince, to me, is a businessman. This is what I learned from him. This man, and I've said this a million times, this man has a $1 billion operation. One thing could crash everything, could bring the whole thing down. And one thing about Vince was prompt. Okay, he needed you on time, and he wanted the stuff done, and he wanted it done right. So some talent you have, men and women, some of them like to be pampered. And then they've been pampered other places, and like sometimes the agents, they get a little soft too, and they go to pampering the talent. Well, if they've been pampered by the agent, then you go and mess up, then you go to meet Vince. Vince ain't finna pamper you. Vince is gonna tell you if you did something right, he's gonna let you know you did it right. If you did something wrong, he's gonna call you and tell you that. The best thing in the world for you to get from Vince is a compliment of great job out there. When he gives you a compliment, you ain't got to worry. He ain't lying to you. He's telling you the truth because he don't do that. He don't just blow smoke up your ass, okay? He'll give you a compliment when it's due. So I don't know what happened with her, because I don't really know her, but she seems to me she might have been one of those people that like to be pampered, and Vince don't pamper you.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think because that is the impression I have of her, that she was someone who was used to being pampered and taken care of, and maybe made out to be more than she really was is.
Go ahead. Like I said, I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know her. But what I'm saying, this is what I sense that it was. Because Vince ain't going to get on you unless you've done something. He wasn't no guy that walked around and picked on people. Okay, he didn't bother. If you've done something good and it was worth being acknowledgeable, he would let you know. Okay, and if you done something bad, he'd let you know. So he wasn't a guy that just picked on people. So evidently it must have been something, that she was doing. Maybe she didn't take things serious. Sometimes that can happen. Vince can pick up when you ain't taking serious, and you need to do that. This is your job.
Hey, he crawled your ass one time for that, for not taking the business serious. You didn't realize you were doing that, but he let you know that that's what you were doing.
Well, I'll tell you that story if you want to hear it. Okay, there was me and Randy Orton. It was the dog match, and Randy was in the dog match. Well, after TV was over, I went to sit down with Randy, sit on the bus, and until we got ready for them to call us. So when the show was over, they let us know, and so now we come for the dog match. Well, we're in St. Louis, Missouri. That's Randy's hometown. Yeah. So I'm thinking the dog match, this ain't TV. I can relax a little bit. Now, this is my thinking. I go out, I introduce Randy, and I said, he's the legend killer. He's the Viper. And I name it, he's your hometown boy, Randy Orton. Yeah. But my thinking is, he's in his hometown. I just want to give him this big introduction. Okay, after I said all that, I come back through Gorilla. I ain't even thinking, no problem. Vince was standing up, and he was waiting on me, and he told me like that.
Now, let me ask you before you go any further. When you saw him motion to come to him, did your heart sink at that point? Did you know you were in trouble?
Yep. Yeah, because I've seen that before with not me. I've seen him wait on other people. And now I'm thinking, man, what did I do? Because I have no idea that I'm doing the wrong thing. Okay, so he tells me, he says, you in business for yourself out there? I said, no. And he looks at me and he says, well, he's from St. Louis. This is his hometown. God damn it. They know he's the legend killer. They know he's the Viper. You got to keep telling them? And it hit me then what he was doing. I said, sir, let me say one thing. I said, I was playing out there. I said, you're exactly right. I said, I was playing. I said, I promise you this will never happen again. And he looks at me then, he says, God damn it, you're better than that. And we walked away, and he never called me again.
When he said you were better than that, I bet that made you feel horrible at that point. And you knew you were not going to disappoint him again.
And I didn't.
Yeah.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.